Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another video, and I appreciate you putting up with the nice fish, the bad jokes, and some ramblings. This is one of the pair of the tiger king cobras or tiger snakeskins or whatever. I really don't know what they're called. So tiger king cobra sounds pretty good, but anyway, this female is going to drop some fry again very soon. Probably within the next couple of days, based on the last batch he had, timing. That's the male. You can see that he's colored up even more. And she has some of the spots or dashes or black coloration on her body and the spots on the dorsal. So the reason for showing that is when I ended the last video, I had said I was going to end the last one with an update on the fry that she had, and the video got to like 20 minutes, so I kind of cut it off at that point. This tank needs a water change. I'm not going to do it today because she's very close to dropping fry and I don't want to shock her or anything like that, so they're going to have to deal with some dirty water for a little bit. But anyhow, I will finally get to the development of the fry that she had about, I think we're talking middle of February on that. And then there's another drop from the other female that was early March. So let me get to that next. Now these fry are from middle of February. I wrote it down. I don't know where I put it. But you can see that the males and females are starting to get their colors. The fins will start growing a little bit later. And so far, so good. You can see a couple of the females are already developing the tiger pattern, I guess it is. And it seems to take a little longer in the males. The snakeskin pattern or cobra pattern, whichever. I'm not sure which it is yet. It's probably considered a cobra because it's not a complete snakeskin pattern. So by that I mean it needs the interlocking, very intricate snakeskin pattern, and it has that throughout about half of the body, and the other half has like zebra bars. So that would kind of make it a cobra. But this one's starting to get the tiger stripes. And they seem to vary with how they develop. But the other thing I thought I'd go over is how I feed the guppies, especially the younger ones. It's very important to get them off to a great start as far as food. You don't have to feed them within the first couple hours because they'll have a yolk sac that they'll get their nutrition off of. It's kind of like having their own little mini fridge or backpack, I guess, or something, a stomach pack. And so you don't have to feed them immediately, but within a couple hours, I usually will give them a little bit of the live baby brine shrimp or the high protein food. Just a little bit. I don't want to kind of go nuts with the first couple feedings. And but normal feedings, once I have the fish going the way I like, I give them in the morning my high protein food. So I'm going to try to do that without screwing up the camera here. But this is what it looks like, the outside of it. It's a 4-ounce size, which is pretty much the only one I've been selling. I've sold an 8-ounce size a couple times, but not as much because it costs a little bit more to ship it. It's kind of annoying. So they get one feeding of that, which is about to go in there. Except it wouldn't hurt if I actually had some. There we go. That's what it looks like. Now it's made up of about 6 different ingredients, so it falls through the water at a different rate. So the fish go after it, except when they're being filmed. I guess they didn't get the hint. There we go. One guy went for it, or one gal. So anyway, it's 54% protein, 15% fat. It's very good. I came up with it as a replacement when I had some brine shrimp hatches that didn't work. I think I got a couple of bad cans of brine shrimp, and that's when or brine shrimp eggs, and that's when I switched to American brine shrimp. I think that's their website name. I used to use brine shrimp direct. They're still very good, but I had gotten a couple of cans that just didn't work. And when you pay $80 a can, you tend to find something else. So that's what they get for one meal. Now I'll show the next batch, which is about a month younger than these. They're also getting their color, and that's from the other female. So I'll do that next. And the second meal of the day for all the fish, especially the young ones, is the live baby brine shrimp or live sea monkeys. So I will come back with that. And so now this group, it was a small drop of fry. These were born March 5th. So they're a couple of weeks younger than the other ones I just showed. Now they're getting the second meal of the day that I give the fish, which is live baby brine shrimp, which I've shown in many videos. You can, if I zoom in, you can kind of see them zipping around, and they're being slaughtered by the guppies. They seem to love baby brine shrimp. It is without a doubt the absolute best food you can feed to a growing fish, pretty much a guppy, a baby of anything, cichlids, bettas, if they're big enough. And the reason for that is the amount of nutrition, the fact that they move around kind of randomly. They probably have cute little smiles to the fish. I don't know. I really can't see them that close. But the fish go after them immediately. Even the first time you ever feed baby guppies live baby brine shrimp, they'll just go crazy for it. So without a doubt the best food. If you want to raise competitive fish to show in the IFGA or IGEES or any other type of show, local shows for clubs, you got to feed them live baby brine shrimp once a day. Some guys do it twice a day. I just do it once a day, and it just really helps. Now what I'll do with these, I will end up selecting the best looking males. I'm going to keep these separate as far as from the other batch, and just probably keep two males, two trios basically, to use as a next generation of breeders. Same with the others, and I'll probably be able to sell one or two trios at that point. But yeah, I'll have to wait a bit, see how they grow out, and go from there. But this was a small drop. This was within a couple of weeks after I had the fish, maybe 3 weeks. So I was very happy to get a drop out of each of the two females. So this way I can run two separate lines of the next generation of fry, and have something to cross in a few generations later if I need it. I don't know what keeping this line looking the way it does involves, so I'm just going to keep some extras and see what I need to do. If I have to get help, I'll ask the guy I bought them from. And these are the other ones. And some other fish I can show. Hey, look who it is. It's Morty. These are the small drop of about 8 that I got from the big ear, super dark, something black Moscows. So I started to show them for a couple minutes on the last video. But believe it or not, in about 5 days, they've colored up even more. So at this point, can easily see males from females. That's definitely a female. That's definitely going to be a male. And the rest of them are hiding. So these are nice looking fish. I really got to hope I get at least 2 males, since I only have 8 with the first drop. She should be having, the female that I got from ATFG, should be having fry again within a couple of weeks. Because these are just a month old. Quite a bit of color for a month-old fish. and the fins will start growing at a later date. So far so good. So what did bees comb their hair with? Honeycomb. Honeycomb. Yeah, it's just as bad the second time. Alright, I'm going to show some other fish coming up next, and I will be right back. Alright, looks like she had quite a few fry. I'm going to have to get them out and find a place to put them. I also just got a few fry, I think 4 of them, from one of the females of the Platinum 3/4 Reds, as the Mob Guppy man called them. So this is pretty cool news. These are the Asian strains that I updated in the last video. And you can see the females are a bit thinner, which is good because they look like they were ready to explode before. And you know, that's good. I think they both had fry now. One of them had 20 fry the night I filmed that last video, and now the next night the other female had quite a good number of them. So I'll update things with some other fish and be back. Alright, I am back with the last part of the video. Thanks for hanging in there. And Morty's still hanging in there. He looks very confused. So I'll wrap it up. If I give the fish a third meal a day, it's the flake foods that I mix up. I haven't started selling them yet because, you know, you can buy flake food anywhere. But I may start selling some that I mix up. I just use an old Tetramin container. This is the large 7-ounce. It's not filled with Tetramin. I did at least one video on how to optimize flake foods. And what I'll do, I'll probably put a link at the end of this video to that one so you can check it out. And you can tailor make the flake foods that you want for your fish, whether it's like African cichlids, you'd go heavier on the meat based flakes. Guppies, I change up what I do. This particular batch, I have blackworm flake, egg flake, earthworm flake, and a base flake, which this time I used Tetramin. And then I had another one, spirulina flake, and something else which I completely forgot now. So these are culls from the Russian red lace snakeskin line. They turn out so beautiful even when they're culled that I keep them. I use them for crosses. I just have like a male tank. This isn't it. This is just a display tank for the video. But I'll show a few of them and go over why they were culled. But you can see the fins are incredible. The body could be a little bit bigger, thicker, I mean. But these are culls, so that doesn't really matter. And these are about 9 months old, and they still look great. A couple of them will probably start deteriorating over the next couple of months because, you know, you can get about a year out of them, year and a half. Sometimes more, a little bit more out of the smaller guppies, and the swordtails, double swords. They live a much longer life. So let's see, this one and a lot of them were culled because there was no snakeskin pattern. Now I have used some of them in crosses with no snakeskin pattern, and they did create fry with the snakeskin pattern. Now, I remember in one of Philip Shattuck's book, I think he called this type a T-rose or something like that, a rose version of a snakeskin guppy. So this one is beautiful, has a snakeskin pattern, and I culled him because he had some pretty large black dots on the side of the body, and the dorsal was just terrible for IFGA stuff. So you can see how tiny that dorsal is. That's junk. As far as if you want to use, same with that one. Nice fish, but complete junk if it comes to trying to enter that in any kind of a show. And same with this one. So this one had a very nice dorsal, but no pattern. So that's pretty much the the gamut of why these were culled. See if I can back out a little bit. That's a pretty nice one. I would use this one in crosses because that's a beautiful fish, even though there's no pattern. So it really can't be called a red delta, I don't think, because it's got pretty poor coloration for the red. It's not an intense red. It's not even a complete red, because you can kind of see through the fins, which isn't a good thing. So anyhow, I think I've gone on long enough with this. So the fish get 1 feeding a day of the high protein food that I mix up. Second feeding is a live baby brine shrimp. And the third feeding, if there is one, is the flake foods I mix up, which these guys are about to get. And a couple of times a week, I'll give them some frozen adult brine shrimp. I don't feed frozen bloodworms anymore to the guppies. I'm not convinced that you can't end up with parasites of some kind in the fish. I know the Hikari brand, which I use, says it's sterilized or sanitized or I don't know what-ized. But I kind of done an experiment where these fish are all in the upstairs. It's like a computer room that I turned into an extra fish room. And I've never given those fish frozen bloodworms ever. None of them upstairs. Because I don't want to carry the bloodworms up the steps. I have light blue rugs in the house. And the last thing I need to do is drip bloodworm juice on the rugs. That'll really go over well. So I've never fed any of them the frozen bloodworms. And I've never had any fish thin out in any of the tanks upstairs. Now the regular fish room downstairs, I used to feed like a combination of some adult frozen brine shrimp and adult or the bloodworms. And I did get a couple of tanks that ended up getting a thinning out issue, which I had to treat with the medicated flakes, which really annoyed me. And I did not get them in tanks that are next to each other, which would indicate that I used a net from one of the tank to the next or water splashed. These were on other sides of the rack. So I kind of took it to mean it came out of the frozen bloodworms. So I stopped giving them to guppies. I give them to the blue acaras, the electric blue acaras, and I give them to the axolotls, even when they're small, which would make them axolotls, I guess. Ba-dum-bum. So anyway, that's I did email Hikari 3 times, asking them if it's possible for parasites or anything like that to get through their sterilization process, and I got non-answers. And one of the 3 answers was stupid, and the other 2 just didn't address the question. So I only use it for the fish that I mentioned. So that's probably enough stuff for this video. And the last thing I'll leave you with, besides Morty, is what does a pig put on a cut? Ointment. Ointment. Ah, that's absolutely awful. All right, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay sane. Enjoy the fish. Enjoy doing whatever you can if you're home during the craziness. And thank you very much for watching. Any questions, just ask. I'm not going to say like, comment, and subscribe, because when I watch videos and people say that, I really hate it. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. I just can't stand it. I don't know why that is. I also can't stand all the commercials on TV all of a sudden from these big companies about in these difficult times, or things will get back to normal, or this or that. They're probably all a tax write-off. And you want to show how tough things are and how bad you feel. Hey, give me a month off from paying a bill. Or defer the interest for a month or 2. Or give me a discount. Hey, don't give me the stupid commercials. I really don't need them. All right, I've wasted enough time. Thanks. Bye.